Mountaineer fans, and welcome into the 2016 edition of Baseball's Talking About Preseason. Today I am joined by three members of the 2016 SVC baseball team. From right to left we have senior captain and shortstop RJ Pinjator, junior right-handed pitcher and captain Josh Hay, and junior right-handed pitcher Dylan Angelo. Gentlemen, thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Josh, let's start with you. How do you think the preseason has gone so far?
I think it's gone well. The guys have shown up, worked hard, and we're in here every day grinding. So, I mean, it's exciting to see them.
RJ, is there one or two guys who have really raised the eyebrows of their teammates during the preseason with either their skill or their work habits or anything to that liking?
I think John Arancio. John Arancio is obviously a transfer. He's new to the program this spring, and I mean, you know, he's already developed into a leader with the short couple months he's been on campus, and we look forward to having him for this season.
Dylan, what have you noticed to be the biggest difference in this team during preseason compared to those of years past that you've been here at SVC?
I would say definitely our energy level. Even throughout practices, we got a very up-tempo team, and it's a lot of go, 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 which is good. It's fun to be around.
Josh, where do you see this team now, and how long do you think it's going to take for you guys to be 100% where you want to be?
Honestly, right now I feel like we're in a good spot. We got our first game coming up this weekend. It's going to be exciting. We're going down to Virginia. I mean, it's always fun down there. We've actually been outside a few times already, so that's always a plus, especially now in February in the Northeast. So, I mean, moving forward to get to 100%, we just got to be 1% better every day.
RJ, are you at all nervous about making the change from second base to shortstop? And how has having assistant coach Christopher Nicastro there helped you in the process?
I'm not really that nervous, to be honest. Shortstop's something that I've played, you know, my whole baseball life until I got to college, and even as I've been in college, I've played it a little bit here and there. But I think now with the repetition that I'm getting, I'm a lot more comfortable than I was. And having Coach Nicastro there, obviously, not being able to play alongside of him the past couple of years has been great. But now, you know, he helped develop me into that shortstop, and it's just great to be able to keep building with him. So,
Dylan, as a pitcher, your defense behind you can really make you more comfortable or nervous and affect how you approach a game when you're on the hill. How do you feel about not only RJ moving over, but having a defense behind you that will be drastically different from last year?
Well, I try not to think about stuff like that too much because I know that the guys behind me have to put as much faith in me as I do in them. So I just go out there every game with the hopes that they're going to do their job and I'm going to do my job, and we're going to come out on top.
Josh, you have a pretty solid amount of experience in your pitching staff coming back. How do you think that will play out in terms of the team's overall success?
I think it's huge this year. Our hitters have been solid the past 3 years, and I think if our pitching staff just like knocks in or just like gets it all together, we're going to be great this year.
RJ, what does the term successful mean to this team? Like, what are you guys going to have to do to accomplish to get yourselves, quote, successful in your mind?
I think we could talk about wins and losses as success all the time, but I think successful to us means to be able to come together as a family. You know, that's something that's been lacking in years past. You know, we're a family all the way up until the games start, and then only 9 guys can play. 9 hitters are in the lineup, 1 guy can pitch. So kind of getting that unity together and kind of, you know, developing that family-oriented like feeling, then we can focus on the results. So, yeah.
Dylan, what characteristic of this squad do you think will help get you guys into the postseason?
I think the fact that we're as young as we are is going to help us because it'll help us move on to the next game and get us to the next step almost. And I think that having that young team behind us is going to give us a good energy level and a good thing to bounce off of.
Josh, what's it been like to actually get outside during the preseason, as you alluded to earlier, and play baseball on grass during some of that time instead of being on the hardwood gym floor the whole time?
I mean, it's a solid like change of pace. I mean, on the hardwood it gets kind of repetitive, and guys like you can see are a little bored with it. But like once you get outside for that first time, that feel of fresh air, just throwing a baseball, hitting it, it's just awesome.
RJ, you've gone to Florida in each of the last 3 years here at Southern Vermont. This time you guys are going to Arizona. What are your feelings, or those for the team as a whole, about switching it up and going down to Arizona instead for your spring trip?
I think for me it's great because I've got the opportunity to go to Fort Myers twice. Last year in Winter Haven was great, and now I get to experience Arizona. So that's 3 places that baseball has taken me that maybe I wouldn't have visited if I hadn't played the game of baseball. And I think that's going to be something that's continuous. So everybody gets at least one opportunity to visit these different places. So I think that's, it's been great. It's going to be great.
Dylan, what is this team going to have to do in order to surpass the expectations of others or even yourselves?
I think the most important thing would be to just put one game in front of us at a time and just focus on what we can control and not worry about the outcomes and focus more on our process and how we're going to get there.
Josh, is there a specific game or series this season that you or the team as a whole is really looking forward to? That's the one that you guys have marked in the calendars and you just can't wait to get out there and match up against those guys.
I think we could all agree upon Mitchell. I mean, they won the conference last year, so everybody wants to be the top dog. So you got to beat the top dog to be there. So I mean, we're all excited to play them again.
RJ, your senior season, what are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm just looking forward to going out on the field every day with guys that want to compete, whether it's competing in the classroom or competing on the field. It's no better feeling than going to war with the guys all have the same mindset as you and are going toward the same goal. So it's going to be great ride.
Dylan, what can the Mountaineer fans expect to see out of the team this year?
Well, hopefully I hope they can see a contagious and fun atmosphere, and we can provide a team on the field that is fun to watch and win some games and makes baseball a fun sport.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us all today. We really appreciate you taking the time out to come down and sit down with us and chat a little bit about your preseason. Good luck this weekend when you open up down at Marymount in Virginia. And good luck this year with your conference and non-conference schedules. And I know the Mountaineer fans will be watching and tuned in. So good luck again, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with head coach Dave Gage here on Talking About Preseason. Hey there, Mountaineer fans, and welcome back into Baseball's Talking About Preseason. I am now joined by 4th-year head coach Dave Gage. Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Always an exciting time of year.
Early February, can't believe that we're already doing Baseball's Talking About Preseason.
Yeah.
And it's gone by, really fast this year. And you look at, we got a little bit of snow, but overall, not a bad winter. You're projected to open up your opening day on March 20th, I believe.
First time that we've ever been sitting here and been like, hey, we got a chance at actually playing our first home game on the actual scheduled day. So.
Fingers crossed, a lot of February to go, and of course in New England you never know what's going to happen there. But we will see and keep our hopes out there. So let's talk about the preseason. How do you think it's gone so far?
Pretty well. We're really young. I got a lot of young players, and at times we've looked great and we've acted mature and played mature baseball, and at other times it's been a challenge from a coaching staff, but I'm excited about that this year. And every day our guys have good attitudes and they show up ready to work. So as a coach, that's what you ask for.
Now, I could be wrong, but I think you guys had a pretty productive fall ball season. How do you think that affected where your team is today?
It was really important this year more than any other year, just because we graduated such big pieces last year, and I know we're going to talk about that. But so this year, just with the amount of freshmen that we had, and just getting them accustomed to the way we wanted to play, and we got some really athletic kids that in high school were able to get away with their athleticism, and now teaching them how to play baseball a little bit was why fall ball was so important, and that's why our preseason so far has been really important too.
Now, last year you guys just missed the playoffs. You were eliminated in the very last weekend of the regular season. When it was all said and done, was there anything that you looked back on during the summer and said, we need to change this or we need to change that? And how do you think your team has gone about taking those changes on?
Yeah, every year we sit down and we review, and we write up a review, and I send it to the assistant coaches and just say some positives that we did and some negatives and some things that we need to continue to do. The biggest thing for me was we just need to be more competitive in our practices and competitive in our daily lives. So that's what we've challenged our guys is to compete in the classroom and compete when they wake up every day and strive for excellence. And us as a coaching staff to put together better practice plans that we're competing more. So the guys have done a good job of responding to that and competing, and we post numbers every day, and they're looking at that and buying into it. So we want that to continue as we go into our season, and it can't just be a preseason thing, but we want it to be an all year thing.
Kind of going off of that, obviously you have a bit of a different team this year, but what did you learn from last year's team that you were able to implement into this year's preseason that you think has kind of made your team better over the last month or so?
Well, we're a completely different team. We've lost some speed from last year, so we've had to redo some of our practice plans even. But we're just going to play a little bit of a different style. We're still going to play vigorously. We still want to run on people and make them throw us out and continue that same mindset. But it is a little bit of a different mentality just because of new players.
Now, you return a handful of guys, almost half of your team from last year, but you did lose a number of players, including 4 strong starters who all finished their SVC careers with over 100 hits. How is it trying to replace those guys? I know it's a tough word to use, and I'm sure you can't even consider really replacing them to the fullest. But how did you go about that process, and how do you think this year's squad has been able to kind of fill in those voids?
Yeah, just to mention those guys really quick, Sal, Chris, Cody, and Roland, they hit 1 through 5 for us with RJ mixed in there. But just their leadership last year and over their 4 years was something that's the biggest thing to replace. And we've, as a coaching staff, had to bring RJ and Josh, our captains this year, RJ Pinchon and Josh A, in this year, and teach them how to lead. And they're great people, and they've matured. But we as a coaching staff have had to teach them how to be captains, whereas Sal was sort of a natural born leader, and Chris is sort of the same way, and Cody became a captain and became a good leader. So that's been the mix. From a talent standpoint, I think we've done a good job recruiting to replace their stats. And that's college sports, you're going to graduate people every 4 years. It doesn't matter how good they are or how bad they are. So as a recruiting standpoint, I think we've done it. But just their off the field stuff has been the thing that we've looked at to replace, the most.
Now, as we mentioned, for Vermont, we've had a pretty mild winter so far. You guys were able to get outside a handful of days over the last month since the preseason really started. How much of an effect do you think that's made on the team and, getting ready to start the regular season in just a couple days here?
It's so important. Just bunt rotations, first and third plays, our catchers being able to throw the ball 127 feet. In the first day out there, we were exposed, and our outfielders did such a good job of giving us a live look instead of just going through the motions. And I told the guys, as disappointed as I am that we look so bad, I'm so happy that we did it on February 1st instead of February 14th in our first game, and we're riding a bus back oh wow, what now? So because of that, we better be good at it this weekend, and we better be good at it, go as we start our season. But it has been really important, and just arm strength I think is going to be better because instead of throwing 94 feet, we're getting out to to 150, 180, and able to air the arms out. And pitchers should have a stronger arm as well. So we're excited about being able to be outside.
Now, what are your overall expectations for the season after you've seen this team go through its preseason?
Every year I think why we are all involved in sports is because we expect to win, and I know we have big shoes to fill, and we got a really young team, but when we step on the field, we expect to win. We expect to win championship, we expect to win every single day. So I guess, I want to go 40-0 and win the regional and win the national championship. But we're going to have ups and downs. There's no doubts about that, and we just have to improve every single day. And when we have those downs, get back in the gym, get back on the field, and fix those up.
Now, you guys are scheduled to open up the regular season this Sunday down at Marymount in Virginia. Have you talked to them at all? Do you know what the field conditions are going to be like down there? Is there a possibility of those games getting scratched, or is it looking like game on?
No, we're good to go. I actually talked to their coaching staff this morning, and the temperatures were a little bit of a concern. It's going to be about 33, and mild wind, but the sun's going to be out, so we're excited about that. It's better than last year's opening day. We had a snowstorm in the 6th inning, so we're excited. We're excited to get out and play. We're going to get better playing another team than we will be practicing. So that's why we schedule these games early to see what we have, and that way next week we can get better. But we're good to go. We'll leave Saturday morning.
Hey, 33 degrees in Virginia. That might be cold for them, but you guys are used to it. That's how you're finishing up your seasons most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you guys will have a little bit of an edge there and hopefully come away with a couple of wins and bring those back to Southern Vermont. So once again, the Mountaineers open up the regular season this Sunday down at Marymount in Virginia. And then you guys do your spring trip to Arizona this year, not going to Florida. What kind of difference do you think that's going to be like?
Well, once every 4 years I want to go to Arizona. We got a lot of kids on the team who haven't been off the East Coast. A lot of kids have maybe traveled to Florida with their parents when they were younger for vacation. But not a lot of kids have been to Arizona. And we do have some California guys. And we actually have 2 Arizona kids in our program this year as well. So just getting to a new place and seeing different things is really what we want to do. And I know our seniors are excited about that, and I think everybody is.
Once again, once you guys return from Arizona, you're supposed to be starting the New England Collegiate Conference schedule as you host Mitchell for opening day. That's actually Saturday, March 19th, down at Bill Epstein Field, 12 and 2:30 doubleheader. So hopefully you can get those games in and start the conference season rolling and get a playoff spot. So, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us today. Good luck this weekend and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you, Mike.